I am 𝗵𝗂𝗃𝗲 Senior Program Manager Training and Certification AWS India. Some of us work from American organizations, and in the spirit of it, a very happy Thanksgiving. We're incredibly thankful and gratitude to all of you as our customers, as our partners, as colleagues, and as members of IT fraternity. Before we get into the 90-minute segment today, I would like all of us to pause and think about the statistics that NASSCOM has recently published in its report, Future of Cloud and its Economic Impact. The report indicates that the value add from cloud is expected to be anywhere between $310 to $380 billion that will be added to India's GDP by 2026, which is a whopping 8% to our GDP. It could also create about 14 million jobs through direct and indirect employment opportunities. The recent COVID-19 has been an unexpected catalyst, as we all know, and has taken enterprises across sectors and industries to digitize faster than what they have imagined in the first place. With that, I would like to invite Dr. Biswajit Mohapatra, Head of Customer Solutions Management India and South Asia, AWS, to come here and talk to us about what does success in cloud migration looks like and why talent matters. Welcome.
Opportunities, right? The world has really become more intelligent, more interconnected, and more instrumented today after the pandemic, right? And all of us is living by that, right? And there are three distinct evolution of business paradigms that's happening all around us. The first one is change in business model. As we all know, there are change in business processes that we are living by every day. The industries are reshaping today all around us. The second dynamics is new age of doing things. What does that mean? Today there is more and more focus on actionable insights, more and more focus on how do we really have responsive operations built within our organization. And then the third dimension is all about new expertise. Do we really struggle for getting those new expertise within our organizations today? Anyone? Right? I think most of us, right? So there is increased focus on restless talent. How do I build that restless talent within my organization? Part of the problem, and other part is there's a great opportunity also to collaborate and really build an orchestrated ecosystem that can support our business. There is no longer competition what exists in the industry today, right? It's more about competition. How do we really compete and cooperate together to coexist in the marketplace, right? So to giving that in the backdrop, I'm going to talk about little what's really happening in India. The changing business landscape that I talk about, the first thing is all of us know our time is now. India at this point of time is at a inflection point. Today, India is one of the largest open market for tech companies to serve. And our time is really now, right? And we mean it. Of course, it's not going to happen very magically for all of us. The second point is all about if you really need to tap into these opportunities and drive value, then there are things we need to do. And I will probably share some of my lessons learned, some of my best practices as we move along in next 15 minutes. Then the third point is to build focus on proactive development of skills within your team. We are definitely going to accelerate that journey to tap those values much quickly instead of not doing anything around that. So let's look at, when I talk about our time is now, we talked about we are at the inflection point, and India is all about building, inventing and scaling today, right? And if I talk about why that is happening, again there are three different points there. First thing is, the tailwind that is really pushing us to achieve that is all about, point number one, the demographics and talent, we all are aware of that. The second point is three distinct highway, I call it as digital infrastructure highway that we have built. Any guess what are those three distinct digital infrastructure highways? Anyone? First is, all of us know basically the other stuff that we built all together. Second is Jan Dhan, and third is the revolution and evolution of mobile and data that India is really going through today, right? And in the same time, the third aspect of this tailwind is all about technology, right? And we all know India is known for simplifying those technologies, and probably we are considered as one of the best when it comes to implementing the technology solutions. So definitely our time is now. And just to add on to that, some of the statistics I can talk about. If you really look at India, I think 𝗵𝗃 kind of alluded at that, we are almost going to be world's third largest economy by 2030, right? Today, every other person in India uses internet, right? Every alternate person in India uses internet, right? If you look at number of startups, 60,000 startups, right? Third largest startup ecosystem that India is today. 62 million SMBs. Almost 5,000 plus listed companies in the stock exchange, right? And most importantly, developer ecosystem. 5 million plus developer ecosystem that exists today, and we are expected to cross US, which is the largest developer ecosystem, by 2023. That's the story of India, and that's the new digital journey of India that we all are part of today. But having said that, if that's the growth that India is expecting today, cloud is going to be the most foundation service and most foundation element to make that digital journey successful for all of us. Of course, there are different drivers for different organizations when it comes to adopt cloud, but it's probably the only single DNA that's helping every organization grow over a period of time. So what's that basically? What are those drivers? Many of you definitely focus on a lot of tactical solutions around cloud. Many of you focus on strategic aspects of cloud. When you talk about tactical, maybe you are focused around driving cost optimization, right? How many of you have really done cost optimization in the past when you do the cloud, right? Quite a few basically, right? And the same time, implementation of next gen technologies. We talk about cloud, artificial intelligence, machine learning, blockchain. Today people have started implementing high performance computing and quantum computing as well, right? So those are the next gen technologies that probably organizations are looking at strategically to implement. Of course, there is need to improve security and provide operational resilience, data-driven organizations, faster insights, right? And many of us strategically also looking at opportunities to go global quickly and also build those data-driven organizations and achieve those agility and flexibility that we all talk about, right? So these are the different drivers that we all are trying to leverage to adopt cloud. And some cases it may be combination of one or many of these drivers as well, right? When you embrace this cloud, what exactly is really happening? Let's say you start your cloud journey, and I'll be talking about little around cloud migration as well. You start a cloud journey. From where you start? Where you start your cloud journey? Let's say some of you will have a lot of complex application portfolio, chaotic, built on multiple platforms, built on multiple technologies, multiple databases, programming languages. How do you start? From where you start actually, if I may ask you? Should we go ahead and do some kind of strategy work, do a portfolio assessment to identify, based on certain business values, based on certain technology values, what applications can be tolerated, what can be integrated, what can be migrated, and what can be eliminated as well, right? And how many of you have really done the elimination of applications from your portfolio? Anyone? The decommissioning or the sunsetting that we talk about, whether it's servers, whether it's applications. Great opportunity, right? If you have a complex, chaotic portfolio, maybe you don't really need additional budget. When you do those decommissioning, the budget, the expenses that you save there, that could really become a self-funding initiative for your cloud adoption journey, right? Think about that, right? This is extremely, extremely important when you want to really save your budget and refocus on some of the innovative and strategic initiatives within your organization. Once you created that roadmap and you know to migrate, then what are the parameters you really need to look at? And here probably I'll talk about some of the aspects of transformation. The first is, the industry is really moving fast. So we need to really focus on launching faster. Gone those days where you can say that I will have a monolithic application that I'm going to launch probably in another 3 months, right? Today in the era of DevOps, we call it site reliability engineering or observability and chaos engineering. You really need to do all those deployments faster, maybe in a fraction of a second or in a few seconds, right? So you really need to launch those deployments faster, and speed is more important for the business today. Again, if you are really trying to become innovative and drive culture of innovation, drive some of the next gen technologies within your organization, so there is no way you will be successful if you are not investing on your people, not investing on your process, not investing on your technology, right? Extremely critical to invest on people, process, and technologies. We need to be lean and very focused, right? And the last part, which is not the least, very important part, is how do we really experiment often, right? Fail fast, but plan such a way that you fail forward, right? So that when you get up, next time when you move, you are 2 steps ahead, right? That's the approach we really need to take. So experimentation is extremely, extremely important there. Some of the learnings when you talk about cloud migration, looks like I'm kind of beating up all the time, right? Okay, so quickly I'll talk about some of my experiences. When you are going and adopting your cloud migration journey, 6 dimensions. You have to think about your business, you have to think about your people, your governance, platform, operations, as well as security, right? And I have kind of noted some of my learnings there with the sheer experience of executing migration modernization engagements for last 20+ years, as well as cloud migration modernization for last 7 to 8 years. This is basically my learning. In essence of time, I'm not going to talk about each of these points, but I'll share with you guys and you can have a look and we can have some different discussion later. This is what one of the customers says, Mr. 𝗪𝗂𝗵𝗲, if you know him, RBL's 40 applications to cloud in 40 days. So how to really accelerate this journey? We need to focus on cloud adoption and speed. Innovation is extremely important. Focus on performance and operations, and in the same time, recruiting and retention. These are the 4 key parameters all of us need to think about. Why recruitment and retention is extremely important, and why you really need to build the skill around cloud in terms of training, in terms of certification, because it has been shown that there is 9 times more likely you can achieve your goal faster, and this is the research done by AWS Global Digital Skills Survey, ESG report, right? So combination of all of those things. So 9 times more likely to achieve cloud goals faster, 5.3 times more likely to boost your staff's productivity, 23% you will be cheaper if you build skills rather than hiring new talent from the market, and 22% more on-time cloud project completion rates. So that's why building the skills, the capability around cloud is extremely, extremely important. And that's the place probably our AWS training and certification teams will be there to partner with you and work very closely with you to make your journey very, very successful, right? What can improved skills to do for your employee? One is company standpoint, that those are the benefits you are going to get. But when it comes to employees, you will have 17% higher employee retention rate, higher average employee tenure, less time for new hires to work at full capacity, and your organization overall will have a improved ability to innovate, right? So what customers are doing, probably in essence of time, I will skip some of those customer stories. But the biggest advantage is that by enabling your team through AWS training and certification, you will be in a position to align your business to IT better. You will operate in a more reduction of risk environment. And of course, you will drive a lot of agility and flexibility for your business. Right? So this is some of the things and some of the customer cases. Paytm almost upskilled more than 2,800 IT personnels. That's what they are planning to do by end of 22. And Amit, if I'm not mistaken, we are almost there basically at this point of time, right? Okay, good. So what are the next steps? Quickly, if you are clear on moving to cloud, but want help on the roadmap and business case, AWS team will be there to create those roadmap and directional business cases for you. If you have already moved some small apps and now want to move significant workloads, roadmap and detailed business case, and we have different mechanisms. Of course, Milind, you know, we did one of the mechanism with you at 𝗪𝗵𝗿𝗁, right? So what we call as experience-based acceleration. So those are the mechanisms you can do if you have already moved something and you want to experience better. If you want to move but need to get management sponsorship, culture of innovation workshop that we do is extremely critical. If your team wants to know what will their role look like in some years, and I'm sure many of you will agree that that's the question probably your team members may have, then engaging our training and certification team to do a learning need analysis will be extremely helpful. And I will strongly urge all of you to do this learning and learning need analysis to see where exactly you stand on the cloud skill standpoint and what gaps you need to fill to make your team more productive and more operationalized in future. And you want to move, but your team is concerned about what it means for them. Then I talked about doing about some prototyping, experience-based acceleration and hackathons, and AWS team will be able to help you there. Okay, so the time is now, as I started talking at the start of my speech. So almost 1.8 million tech jobs unfulfilled by 2022. 90% of IT decision makers report cloud skill shortages today, and all of us are living by that. We know the industry and where we are getting into today. 60% of AWS partners report cloud skill shortages. So it's extremely important that we focus, stay relevant, stay focused, and build those cloud skills within our organization. Finally, my favorite slide, and Milind, you know this slide already, right? So in almost all my speeches, I use this slide. So what do you feel after looking at this slide? Anyone? How is the feeling? Take a plunge, right? Okay, good. So this is actually from 𝗵𝗏 who was our customer, and this is what he presented in AWS New York Summit in 2019. And 𝗥𝗲 was completely new to cloud, but they wanted to experiment something. And many times we do a lot of research, analysis, paralysis to take decision whether we should do cloud, we should not do cloud, how do we really adopt cloud, right? The best thing is, as you rightly said, to take a plunge basically, right? And when you're taking the plunge, you can see the smile on the toddler's face, right? Learning cloud is of course fun, and the swimming ring that you see there, that's nothing but AWS who will be all around you to provide you that support, right? With that, probably I'll say thank you, and thanks for being patient to listen to me. Any questions, I'll be happy to take. Yes, we do have. Maybe we can have offline discussion around. So we work on the area of entire cloud economics basically, right? And FinOps is one subset of that. We start with cloud financial management, then get into FinOps and other implementations. In fact, we are implementing FinOps as we speak, and I just came back from a call prior to this for one of the largest gaming company in India basically, right? So we can have some offline discussion around that. Okay, landing zone. So before you migrate your workloads to cloud, you have to have your cloud infrastructure already available basically, right? So so we create the landing zone, and then we move the workloads to that cloud basically, right? So that's the initial step of your entire migration journey.
Getting the right skills, okay? Even though if we hire someone after serving the notice period, we find that that person is not joining us. That is also one of the very critical area. You mentioned something about upskilling and all those things. So just wanted to understand how AWS is helping organizations in terms of upskilling their talent, upskilling their existing employees in terms of getting right skills from the market. Okay, upskilling, I differ to a bit. The reason being is the way we are moving into cloud. Okay, we also need expertise. When we are upskilling an employee in an organization, okay, that particular employee will not going to give us the output from the day one onwards. That person will be on a path of learning, okay. And the expectation is when you are moving into cloud, the things should move fast. We need experts, okay. Fine, upskilling is going to help a bit. Maybe today we upskill someone, after 6 months down the line, that particular person will be on that particular level where that person is going to produce some output. But we also need to hire someone, some experts, from the market. So how, I don't know how AWS is going to help us, but we need to know, because if we are here and if we are here to, to understand these hiring strategies and all those things, how AWS is helping us.
Okay. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Good. Yeah. Okay. Good. So probably then I'll conclude here. If there are any further questions, I'll try to answer those, and we'll be here around for some times. Do feel free to reach out, and we'll discuss further. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks for being here.